So we were contacted by writer-director Chris Ruppert about his film Transient, and he asked us to watch and review it, and we did just that. Well, we're doing some of that now.
Yeah.
You know,
we're doing it now.
We watched the film. We're here to do the review. You get what we're getting at. So, our main character, David, he has a tragic accident that happens, and he is this software, hardware designer, and him and his friend work on this device that can read people's memories, and you can alter them, you can copy them, you can, all that kinds of stuff. And he does this, of course, because he wants to connect with memories of the past. And, of course, that doesn't go all that well.
Yes, it does not.
So now, this, of course, reminds me of movies like Primer. There's a lot of films, lower budgeted sci-fi films that deal with this kind of somewhat believable technology of the future, and they have this breakthrough, and they can use it for good or bad, and it's like this moral dilemma kind of thing.
Kind of Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, sure. Overall, did I like this movie? Not really. I think my big issue, but I do want to say this as a caveat. I actually did really like the ending. And maybe the last 5 minutes where this ended up, how it all ended up, I actually did quite like that.
Yeah,
I don't think that it fully hit what it was going for there. I think there's a couple things missing for that to really hit and to be this dun 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 kind of moment. But I still got enough out of it going, okay, the ending landed for me. And the story itself is one we've seen plenty of times. Black Mirror is a perfect example. There's multiple things in here that I could be like, oh, like the Black Mirror episode, When you're dealing with these kinds of topics, it's hard. It's kind of like the South Park episodes, The Simpsons did it. Black Mirror has kind of touched upon a lot of these technological science fiction, morality tale type of ideas. So it's not all that surprising, and we can see that there's inspiration within the film, kind of a little nod to Philip K. Dick.
Yeah.
That's to be expected. I think my biggest issue, there's a couple things. Number one is that there's a really fine line, and this is where great actors come into play. There's a really fine line between overly melodramatic and super dull. And there's this place in between where a character is reserved and they wear a lot of emotion in their performance without saying a lot of words. A really great example of this recently, within the last year or so, was Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us. Joel's character, or his character Joel, he is a man of few words.
Yeah.
But all the words are on his face. All the words are within his expression, within how he holds himself, the way he reacts to the people around him. And I just found the guys in this, while they're trying to do that somber, slower paced, dramatic performance, I just found it to be very dull. And that kept me not engaged very much, because I told Kaylee while we were watching this, and I'm sure I didn't even need to tell her this because she's an intelligent woman, she would have figured it out for herself, but I leaned over and was like, oh, this is what's going to happen. And it's 100% what happened, because you can just tell, because we've seen all these things before. There was one thing that we couldn't tell, though, and I don't know, we both were paying full attention. We were both totally in, and maybe it's supposed to be a surprise to the audience. I don't know, but there's a character that comes in maybe about 2/3-ish way into the film that you're like, wait, aren't you dead? What?
Yeah.
What the fuck? And we were so shocked. We were like, wait, I don't understand. Is that their identical twin? Or is this a dream? Or
yeah.
And then it was like, and then we were sitting there for like a couple minutes, and I was like, wait a minute. Is she alive? Like, did we completely misconstrue this?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to... I feel pretty much the same way as you did. I didn't particularly like the film, but I did like parts of it. Like you said, I think that the ending is really cool. I like where that goes. I like the general concept, of course. And I did really like the like color grading and the cinematography. Like, I thought it looked good. I liked the dark colors and the dark like tone in general. For me, that worked. Yeah. I also thought that there was some really cool like transition shots that I was into. So all of that worked, but I do agree with you about the two leads. How I felt I don't feel like they give bad performances. Like, they're not hammy actors or anything. Like, that's not it. But it's like you said, where it was, I don't know. There's just something kind of missing from it, where it did make it unengaging. But the dialogue and like what's happening should be engaging, especially emotionally. But I think like particularly the like main lead, David.
Yeah.
He didn't sell me on his character emotionally. Mm-hmm. Even being a reserved character, even being kind of this like maybe misunderstood genius type of character, I feel like there was emotional like heights that could have been reached, even if it was done subtly. And for me, it didn't work. But as far as what you were talking about just now, like the character, I don't know what happened there. I don't know if we missed some dialogue or some like nuanced thing that let us know that was the case, but it really came out of nowhere. And again, maybe that was the intention. Maybe it was supposed to be a surprise. I don't think it works as a surprise, though. I think it like it made us feel so confused for like 10 minutes. Like the next 10 minutes of the film, I just felt like, wait a minute, like we were just missing this whole thing. Like, how did we miss that? Were we not paying attention close enough? Or is there like a writing thing where like that? So for me at least, I don't think that works. I think it makes it very convoluted and odd. But excuse me, then where it goes, like at the end of the film, it does tie things together with that character. So I did like that, of course. So yeah, I don't know. I think it has. There's a lot of things in it that has potential and that like works, but there's just some things that like performances could have been a little different. So maybe there's like some direction there that, and I always feel weird like criticizing because I'm not trying to be hypercritical or anything. It's just like you want to give an honest opinion of like how you felt watching the movie, but it's like I'm not somebody who makes films, so it's like it's hard because I'm like I know every actor is different and directors are different, and it's like there's a lot going on behind the scenes. So I don't mean to downplay any of the hard work that anybody did on this film, because I do think that is clear. I do think that they had a competent cast, competent crew, so that's all there. And yeah,
I think what this movie personally is missing is juxtaposition of previous character stuff. So like because I use The Last of Us as an example, we get time with Joel and Sarah pre-outbreak, and we see what kind of man he is, and we really get to know that character now. And it's short, right? It's only for half of the first episode, but in that time we get a very good understanding of who he is and who he becomes. And so we are on the trajectory of an arc, and we see that he was a good man who went through terrible things, and now he's a terrible man who has good within him. It just has to be sparked by the right person.
Yeah.
Right? And so we follow that character, and in the end of season 1, we see his transformation. We see the arc that led him to this place.
Yeah.
And so we follow him through that. With this, because of how he's introduced, and it's kind of just a very blah scene that then transitions to the later scene, which is the rest of the film's timeline. There's no transition that makes any impact on us to show us a different character.
Yeah.
And because it's so reserved, and because it's so subtle, and because we don't really have a time in which him and Bill, his best friend, or his partner, we don't really see their relationship. We just see that they work together on a project. And then they spend a lot of time trying to be intelligent by doing a lot of like inside baseball lingo when it comes to technology. And it's like, I get that you're trying to be intelligent and you're trying to like wow the audience that these guys are geniuses, but when you focus on it that much and the audience for the most part is going to just be like, I don't know what the hell's going on, it makes it very disengaging, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up actually, because that was another part. Like, I like all the dialogue in the film for the most part, but when they're doing the inside baseball talk about like the tech stuff, I found that to be really boring, and I was just like, I have no idea what they're saying, and they're saying it so like softly and like to each other, and then like having this like, even the breakthrough that they have doesn't feel like a big breakthrough. It just is kind of like reserved, and this is
a very complicated thing to do, and really great filmmakers figure out a way to make that interesting to layman's. Now, some people use the tourist, right? That's the very easy way to approach that. They have the character that is like us, the audience. We don't know what the hell's there, so they have a third person in the room that's like, hold on, guys, slow down. What is happening? Say it to me like I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then they explain it to them, which of course is the audience, and it doesn't have to break the fourth wall. Then there's the option of the fourth wall break, as you'll see in something like The Big Short, which is dealing with a lot of like complex financial stuff that a lot of us don't understand about Wall Street and the housing market and whatever. And they decide to have Ryan Gosling do this fourth wall break where he talks to the audience, and he does it in these really entertaining ways where they have like Margot Robbie or somebody come in and explain it to you in a way that's super funny and also very understandable. And then you're like, okay, like I get what's going on here. I'm entertained, and now I understand the importance of this thing. They did it in The Imitation Game with Benedict Cumberbatch's character, Alan Turing, and how he created it broke the Enigma code by creating the machine that he did, or Oppenheimer, obviously creating the atom bomb, which you want to talk about complex material. But he does that in such an engaging way that I never felt bored while watching that, as to where here it just felt like a bunch of jargon to be jargon, to kind of be like, oh, these guys are brilliant. And it's like, but it's going on for too long. If it happens for 20 seconds or 30 seconds, that's fine. But when it's happening for 5-10 minutes, it's kind of like, I don't give a shit. Like, just fucking make the headset work. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I'm already disengaged.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this isn't meant to rag on the film at all. I just think that this is constructive criticism for the next project, because I think this is where a lot of complaints will come from when people view this film. And on the next movie, because I think you do have a good knack for the idea and a conclusion, which your ending is the most important piece of your film, and I think you did a very good job on that. For me, we just got to really focus on character arcs that make us very engaged with the characters and care about where it's heading, whether they're an antagonist, a protagonist, an anti-hero, whatever you want. You can make them as evil or as good as you want, doesn't really matter. But for some reason, this just came off as dull.
Yeah.
That's the best word. If I had to use one word to describe this film throughout, it's just dull.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be, because of the material that we're dealing with here. While the project itself for layman's on the outside would be dull. The applications, the meanings of what that could be and what it ultimately leads to, that is thrilling. Yeah. That is something that's like, oh shit, like that's a lot. So I don't know. I just feel like I feel like it was there. I feel like the ingredients, you had a chance. It just, for some reason, it just didn't come together for us personally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of all I have to say, really.
Yeah, same.
So, but, yeah, thanks for sending it to us, and
yeah, definitely
watch it.
If you don't hate us too much, and you actually do want to talk to me, was that character meant to be a surprise?
Yeah, I definitely would like some clarification. Like, if we miss dialogue, that's fine. Sometimes we do miss dialogue. Like, it does happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we missed some implication, but I would like to know if that was what was going on with that character.
But yeah, thank you for sending this to us, and that's our thoughts.
Yeah.
We definitely will always be truthful.
Yes.
And that's what we thought.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, if you guys watch this, I think I don't know. He sent it to me. I don't know where it's available currently or if it's available yet. A release date says internet January 2024. So it's online somewhere. I'm not seeing a place for it to rent, but I'm sure if you look for it, you can find it. But let us know.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Bye.